Welcome to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez, joined by my co-hosts, Mr. Javier Perez and Ms. Natalia Garcia. Today, we're going to talk about some things going on in our community. Cinco de Mayo actually is right around the corner on Friday.
That's right, man. Ben.
But first, we have a special guest. We have Mr. Hilton. Hilton is the owner of Hilton Furniture and also the former owner of the Houston Comets. So I want to thank him for coming out.
Thank you for having.
And I tell you what, everybody knows Hilton Furniture. You've done a tremendous job.
Great marketing
publicizing,
job.
Great marketing.
Oh, I love that, man.
Yeah, he's done a great job marketing. And we want to know a little bit about you, how you got started and so forth. So why don't we back up a little bit and tell us about your upbringing.
Well, my upbringing, I was brought up in the furniture and mattress industry. I'm originally from New Orleans, and my mom and dad always had a furniture and resale shop growing up as a kid. And you know, it was funny because we come to the studio here and we get to talking and just realizing that my great grandfather, he was right here on Delano Street, you know, a couple of blocks from where we are right now. So
right in the middle of Second Ward.
That's it, right. Actually, I ended up going to Rusk Elementary from one year. My mom and dad dropped me off and said, hey, we'd be back to pick you up, and didn't realize they was going to come back and pick me up a year later. And so I originally grew up in New Orleans, and you know, unfortunately, when my mom and dad separated, she moved back here to Houston, where she was originally from, and she had several stores right here in Harrisburg. You know, she started off, I think, on Hughes in Harrisburg, and then she was right next to Purple Heart for a little while, and then before you knew it, she was around the corner on Wayside, right next to Tequila's, you know, the old dance club they used to have there. And during that time, I was in college, and I would come visit here during the summers and Christmas vacations, and I always kind of felt that it was right for me to, you know, follow in Mom's footsteps and you know, get into the furniture business. And so when I finished college in '92, you know, I moved over here to work with Mom, and unfortunately, it didn't work out as planned. And you know, after a couple of years, I said, well, maybe it's time I go out on my own. And then so in '95, that's when, you know, I decided to open up our own store.
You know, it's amazing because I have seen Hilton around at some family gatherings, you know, a couple funerals, and I'm saying, well, what's he doing here?
He's from the East End.
And you have roots in the East End. We come to know that you're related to some real good friends of mine, the Villanueva family that's on your mom's side.
That's right.
It's amazing what a small world this is.
So for our viewers, we are actually in the East End. We're about half a mile from Minute Maid Park, right down Harrisburg. Now, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of growth here, obviously. A lot of things have changed since you were here, right? Since back in the day. So tell us a little bit about your furniture store now.
Well, about our furniture store now, we're just, you know, down there on the Gulf Freeway and just working hard every day for customers. You know, we're that store. We're not the real big corporate store, and we're, you know, a little bit bigger than what mom and pop shops would be. So we find ourselves right there in the middle of the marketplace, which is a really, really good place to be, and especially here in Houston, Texas, with as good as the economy has been, fortunately. So, you know, we're going to work every day with customers. I mean, customers come in and hey, we was at the big stores and they couldn't do this, or they couldn't make this happen as quick as we wanted it, or they couldn't get this sofa in this color, or this chair and that fabric. You know, so we've been the store kind of running around town, picking up those customers and treating those customers like jewels, and, you know, shining them up when maybe the big box stores have kind of dropped them off and forgotten about, you know, what has gotten them to the dance. And we're just that store that's going to do whatever it takes to, at the end of the day, you know, make the customers happy. We've been in business since 1995, and 22 years has gone by really, really quick, but it's been a lot of fun, and that's what's made it so great, is we really, really enjoy what we do at the end of the day, and that's, you know, making, you know, moms, dads, and kiddos happy with their new purchases of furniture and mattresses.
You know, my hat's really off to him, because when Hilton got into this furniture, you know, we all know who was really the king of the media here, which was Mattress Mac, and you kind of got in there and you got your niche pretty quick, Hilton. I mean, I mean, my hat's off to you, because it was a tough marketplace to get in.
Yes, and it still is today.
Yeah.
And, you know, every day it's a battle, and at the end of the day, it's all about getting the customers taken care of, especially in the social media network world that we live in. You know, unfortunately, you know, most of the times you just hear about, you know, the bad experiences customers may have, but it's real good to go on our social media and see how many good reviews we have for customers, and we get customers come in every day, and it's been because of reviews that we've had on our review sheet.
Let me ask you something, Hilton, and I don't mean to make you uncomfortable or anything, but I think it's an issue that's going to be out there, especially those in business. Okay, you have a large Latino client base, I'm supposing.
Yes, sir.
Say we start, and I hate to go there, Ben, but you know, this is something that's kind of come to mind lately. You know, they want to have mass deportations. How would that affect your business? I think people don't really think about that. You know, the people that are undocumented here. You know, they buy properties, they rent apartments, they buy food, they're users, they buy everything. How would that affect businesses like yours if, say, we got a few million people just deport all of a sudden?
It is already affecting. You know, fortunately for us, I don't think we've felt it as much as maybe others in our industry, probably because of who we are and you know, what we've been up until this point. But we hear it, you know, on a daily basis. Furniture reps that work for the factories that come in and just say business is off, and from their feedback from other retailers is they feel that those customers that are kind of on the fence, they are holding their dollars, you know, because the potential of them maybe getting deported. So it's actually already affecting, I know, our industry, you know, already. And like I said, fortunately for us, we haven't felt it as much just because I really think of who we identify ourselves, you know, with, and we strongly identify ourselves, you know, with the Hispanic community.
Absolutely. You know, but that's what Steven Kleinberg says. He says, you know what, you start deporting, you know, thousands, tens of thousands of people. He says it would decimate the Texas economy along with the nation's economy. I don't think people don't really think about what's really happening with that.
No, I would agree with that. So let's talk a little bit about some of your competition now. Fingers, I noticed, was right down 45, actually right down the street from here.
Right.
And it went under. And there was a couple other furniture stores that have gone under. And Fingers was around a long time. So what do you think was the issue, the main issue for them going under?
Well, I think it was a generational. You know, I know, you know, Sammy Fingers, who was the founder of that company, he passed away, and then his son took over, and I think as the dad, you know, of which is the grandson, when he kind of phased himself out, then the third generation kind of came in, and you know, it was just a lot of tricks of the trade that were lost, and of course, you know, when you look at the marketplace, you know, a lot of the industry, if we compare it to 40, 50 years ago, where a lot of the population was kind of in this part of town, has kind of moved out to the suburbs. So a combination of just a whole bunch of things, of some of the tricks of the trade with the third generation being lost, and just the amount of additional competition that has grown in our town in comparison to maybe 40, 50 years ago.
You know, it seemed like they kind of maybe it's, I don't know, I don't mean to be brusque about it or anything like that, but it seems like they lost that connection with the community the further they got down. That's one thing I think that you've done very, very well. You've got your connection to the community. People know you. You're accessible. People see your face. They know who you are. And I think that's kind of what happened with Fingers. They lost. It just became like a corporate, faceless entity, you know?
Yes, and that's exactly right, because at the end of the day, we believe that, you know, retail is all about just the fundamentals of building those relationships with customers, and, you know, because the customers can go anywhere and spend their money. So we really feel our biggest asset at Hilton Furniture and Mattresses is the relationship we build with our customers, you know, before the sale, during the sale, and as important, even after the sale.
So where's your store or stores?
We're I-45 South, exit Fuquay, next to Alameda Mall. Ooh, that's a fact, Jack. Yeah.
She's on the other side of the world.
Okay.
I don't watch TV.
What is it, Spring?
I'm a Spring.
She's in Spring, yeah.
Yes,
So
yeah.
she's an hour away from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, you know, it's kind of interesting because Hilton, you see him out there working all the time, but you don't know this about Hilton, is he's very, very active with the youth. I mean, I can go on and on about the things that he's done, but I'll just mention one thing. He's with an organization called the Gulf Coast Bulldogs, which is actual football, little league, cheer, and drill. And I tell you what, you have single-handedly built up this organization. And we're talking about 100-something football players, and I don't know how many cheerleaders, but I imagine about 20 or so. So it's a big organization. If you multiply that times all the family members,
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking a lot of people that are impacted in a positive way in the community. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it's more or less about 150 families that that are members of our club, and it's one of those things that I've always prayed for as I became an adult, and especially that I've owned my own business. Youth sports and organizations were always a real big influence on my life, and it's one of those things that I've prayed to God for, is, hey, put me in a position to where I can give back to the community. And because I know what a big difference it made to me when I was a kid, and
Right.
and Coach would pick me up, and Coach would stop and get something to eat for me on the way home, and Coach would make sure I got home, and Coach may even have to come talk
Right.
to the teacher every now and then in school. But being a part of the Gulf Coast Bulldogs is my way of giving back to the community, and that's so important, for as much that was given to me as a kid. And there's not much more that gives me as much joy as seeing some of those kids financially aren't able to pay, and we have a rule: everybody plays. So if you can't pay, you're still going to play. And we have a great board of directors that help us, figure all of that out at the end of
I know how hard that could be, Hilton, because I tell you, in another life, years ago, I was director of Salvation Army Boys and Girls Clubs. And one of the things that we did, we started an organization called the Major City Football League, which brought football to inner city kids. And I'm talking about full pads football. It was very expensive. We had a lot of downtown businesses that actually helped us do this, and it was amazing to have those kids be able to have the advantages of the game and the lessons, the life lessons that it teaches. It was fantastic. So I know how hard that could be, and we did it for a lot of years. And I tell you, my hat's off to you, because I mean, you're changing lives.
Yes,
you're changing lives with
and
something like
at
that.
the end of the day, we always, make sure we tell the parents, hey, it's not about the wins and losses. It's about all the other things that the kids will learn, from football and cheer and drill.
Right.
I tell them boys all of the time that are playing football, they're lucky they aren't a cheerleader or a drill girl, because, you don't think it's as detailed as maybe as football could be, but it's that cheer and drills are a lot more detailed than any football play could ever be.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Absolutely. It sure does. It has its strengths.
So let's talk a little bit about the Houston Comets.
Okay.
As you know, he was the owner of the Houston Comets. It's the, what do you call it? The National Association of, what is it called? National Association?
The WNBA.
And yeah,
Women's, what is it called?
National.
That's right.
Women's National Basketball Association.
That's
There you
right.
go. So it's a women's professional team, basically,
Correct.
here in Houston. And that was in what years?
That was in 2007 was the Comets last year.
Okay, so 2007 through
No, it was 2004, 2000,
when did it start?
2002, 2003, something like 2007.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. No, well, so it was probably the late
90s.
yeah, the late 90s.
Late 90s,
That's
yeah.
exactly right.
Okay, so they lasted 8 years here,
Yeah, I
basically.
think it was a little bit more. I think it was like 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that experience.
Oh, that was a great experience, and Donna, I forget, she'll be so mad when I don't realize her name, but Donna was the president at that time and working real hard with Mr. David Stern as well. It was a great experience being a part of that, and it was a real unfortunate situation. That's kind of when the economy was kind of taking a downfall, not only in Houston, across the country. And the WNBA is 50% owned by the NBA. And at that time, there was only a couple of NBA teams that were actually, making money, and they had some hard cuts that came up, and the Houston Comets, and there was another team in the WNBA that unfortunately, had to, fold up their franchises.
So I'll tell you what, I know you've met a lot of people through that,
Oh, yes.
know, from the NBA and other sports as well, right?
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about that experience outside of basketball.
Yes. Okay. Well, before I go on, Donna Orender is who was the
Okay.
president of the WNBA then.
Okay.
So yes, just being there with other WNBA owners and lots of players, all of the players, but not only the players in the WNBA, players with the Rockets and players with the Texans and just other community people that had stepped up during that time that were supporting the WNBA, C&D, Scrap Metal, Mr. Dennis, Lavage, Robert Perez, They're with Alloyed Carbide, you know, Mr. Mike Gonzalez, you know, just lots of business people here in our community that, you know, were relationships that we built, that, you know, we partnered and was able to do other things giving back to the community. So that those
And by the
are
way,
real.
those businesses are from the East End.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They
I
were
tell you,
part-
you have a big East End footprint.
Yeah, that's right.
Hilton.
That's
I mean,
right.
and that's fantastic that you. And the thing about he doesn't forget his community, and that I think that's so important. And I tell you, my hat's off to you, man. That's great that you always know where on what side your bread is buttered. And,
Yes.
And you always keep that connection with. the
Right,
community.
and actually the league we play in, which is BAFO, Bay Area Football League, two of their big teams down in this community are the Easton Eagles and the Magnolia Park Sharks.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
that's
we
right.
actually, you know, we do a pretty good job of maintaining our relationship with them, and you know, we network a lot together, and you know, so outside of the Gulf Coast Bulldogs, you know, there's other clubs in the BAFO League that we work with as well, because they have the same, you know, core, you know, values and goals, giving back to the community, you know, making sure we do our part, you know, for the boys and girls.
And just so you know, they play their Super Bowl actually this year in the Rice Stadium.
Wow.
The little kids do.
I wonder who helped him do that.
I wonder. Yeah. You know, that's pretty impressive. If I was a little kid, 5, 6 years old, or
Oh
even
man,
12 years
that's
old,
to
playing
play
at
in a
Rice
Division
Stadium?
One, to play in a Division One stadium. Well, when I was Salvation Army, we were able to do that at Robertson. We had a big tournament from around the state, Salvation Army teams, a lot of them in Papa Warner, and these kids were able to play, and it was an amazing experience for those kids. So I mean, that's great that they're able to do that.
Well, I appreciate you coming out. The next time you're on the show, we're going to talk about Gulf Coast Bulldogs
All right,
specifically.
I have to wear my red Bulldog shirt.
Yeah, you gotta wear.
and I'll leave my That's a Fact Jack shirt at home.
Yeah, so we're going to come back in 2 minutes, and when we do come back, we're going to talk about some Cinco de Mayo events happening at Talento Bilingual Houston. Javier is the director there, and I appreciate you being here all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's a lot to discuss, and again, thank you. And we
Maybe they put
gladly-
Mr. Hilton on the spot. We're still looking for sponsors.
Come on now, watch it there.
we gladly have you again next time with your board
Excellent.
of
Excellent.
directors. So
Let's
we'll be
thank-
back in 2 minutes.
Okay. Straighten it.
Welcome back to Latino Talk TV, and I'm your host, Ben Mendez, joined by my co-host, Mr. Javier Perez, and Jumpin Jess. Everybody
Thank the
knows
sponsors, Ben. Thank the sponsors.
I want to thank I want to invite everybody to our Facebook page first. We have a brand new Facebook page. Please join us on Latino Talk TV. Also, I want to thank our sponsors. Of course, Talento Bilingual de Houston is always a sponsor, and NHPO Leadership Institute. Thank you all again for always being there for us. Jumpin Jess is actually the chairman of TBH, and Javier is the executive director. So I want to thank our guests for coming out today. We have actually the chair. I want you to know that she was the chair of the LULAC parade back in the day, actually last year. And she is here again. Ms. Celia Valles, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And who is our guest here? Who's our guest next to you?
Baldimar Elizon.
Baldimar Elizon.
Baldimar, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Nice.
Now, I know
Inviting us.
Jumpin Jess, you have a lot going on for Cinco de Mayo. You always do. There's always something going on here in Houston, Texas, as big as the city is. There's always something for the Hispanic community to do, right?
Well, you know, since starting to work with Javier, and it's Javier's dream, and you know, we want to bring more entertainment. We want to bring more festivals. We want to bring more programs that reflect the community, Ben, that wasn't happening there at TBH in the past. I mean, all the plays that they have there, all the recitals, and the international flavor that we have. We've got Nigerian comedians. We got guys that play the flute from Venezuela.
Venezuelan artists, yeah.
We got French actors.
Bulgarian rock shows, French actors, yeah.
Russian burlesque, you know. But that doesn't quite reflect the community. So last year we started a Cinco de Mayo program, and we got a good response. There's so much going on, but this year Javier wanted to take it up a notch, so he had made some connections. We got Flaco Jimenez. Flaco Jimenez is a 7-time Grammy Award winning. He's the king of the accordion at this time, and the guy's played with the Rolling Stones. He's played with Santana. He's played with the Thunderbirds. Freddie Fender, yeah, exactly. The Little Joe,
Texas Tornadoes.
The guy has been everywhere. He's an international icon. The guy's been in Switzerland, Germany, France, Spain, playing all the European markets.
So he's a world traveler, basically.
International artist, Ben. So, you know, Javier said, let's step it up, Jess, and all right, let's do it. You know?
You just got to find the money to pay him.
Exactly.
Isn't that amazing? You know what? Tejano lives all over the place, right? I mean, it's not just Houston. I mean, it's everywhere. I
tell you, Ben, part of our dream, I've been, years ago to the San Antonio Conjunto Festival. I've covered that before when I worked with Tech Hispanic Magazine, and it just amazed me how in San Antonio, basically they conduct this thing. It's a glorified basketball court. It's a city basketball court. They put sides in a park, and they have this big international festival. I said, man, Houston has facilities galore that could just
really
dwarf that thing. And for us not to have something here is the reason why I said, well, no, we don't want to have Kunto. We're going to concentrate on accordion. And I tell you, we got some great accordionists in town. One of the best new accordionists in the Zydeco world is Ruben Moreno. It's a second award kid.
Good friend of ours.
You know, yeah. So Ruben's going to be at the Accordion Fest. So we
need to bring.
Hopefully, we'll have him here on the show here today.
He's got a great story. I don't want to go into it because we have so much to cover, Ben. But he has got a great story. You got to read his bio.
Moreno.
Ruben Moreno. I'm blown away. Well, bottom line, make it quick and short. His grandmother raised him, and she had a cantina off Milby, and he used to spend the night sleeping there on the chairs, listening to these Zydeco players, and that's where he learned how to play music. You know, and he was watching all these guys. I mean, there's Wilfred Chevis. I can't mention them all, but Step Rito. I mean, these are a lot of great, legendary Zydeco players, and he learned from them. So you need to bring him on and tell his story, but one day. But let's move on because first of all, we brought Mr. Baldimar in because a lot of people don't know he has an accordion school and a bajo school that was in.
I did not know that.
Yes,
It was in Jacinto City. It's been going on for a long time, and I found out he teaches the bajo and he teaches
bass, guitar,
the accordion and guitar.
Accordion.
And then of course Celia's got the parade, and this is going to be the biggest and best
Exciting.
Cinco de Mayo parade it is. She's going to talk about the honorary marshal, and then who she has and what they're bringing, who's going to be in the parade.
Am I still the honorary chair?
Marshal, the Grand Marshal.
No, Grand Marshal.
I take that as a yes.
Ben's gonna be the guy pushing the little cart or walking behind the horses.
Selling the flags, selling the American
With
flags.
a cubeta.
And the trouble.
The honorary. Remember that, the honorary.
But just one thing to say, Ben, real quickly. There was so much great things happening, and we're trying to tie in. It was Javier's idea to have an event after the parade because people didn't have anywhere to go. So he said, let's do something where we're going to start it early. By 12 o'clock, 12 noon, we're kicking it off. It's going to all be after the parade. Invite everybody to come after the parade to TBH. We're going to do it in the parking lot. It's going to be affordable to everybody to come in. Kids will be free.
It's $5.
Oh, $5?
$5, yeah.
All right.
Let's not get
Carried away
here, Ben.
Okay, I didn't know that. Changed rules on me. Okay,
You're going to be called honorary too. You're going to have to pay for everybody.
Put on my tab.
There you go.
But anyway, go ahead, Ben.
Let's talk about the parade.
Well, it's our 24th actual anniversary from the Cinco de Mayo LULAC Parade, and this is LULAC District 8. So this is our annual fundraiser that actually the monies and the fees that we collect from people who participate in the parade helps to fund. The money goes back to local councils to help to fund scholarships. So it's a win-win situation for everyone participating. I was out of town this past weekend, but when I left, we were up to 100 entries.
Wow.
So it's a great entry, and as Jesse was indicating, our Grand Marshal this year is none other than our HISD Superintendent, Richard Carranza.
Great.
What a pleasure, and we have up to 29 schools, elementary, middle school, and high schools participating. And our honorary Grand Marshal for the first time ever in the history of Cinco de Mayo LULAC parades is Princess Elena de Avalar. She's the first Hispanic princess from Disney. So Disney is actually bringing her in. I'm going to set her up, and she will be our honorary Grand Marshal for our Hispanic kids and youth to see. So we are honored from ABC Channel 13 and Disney to have sponsored her to come in.
Do you need a prince?
There you go.
She's probably always looking for an escort. But, we have the charros, the ballet folclóricos of several dance teams from TBH, so thank you guys very much. And it's an all-around, old-time fashion parade. It's going to be really great.
Oh,
we
awesome.
invite everyone to come out. It will be starting at 10 a.m. at the corner of Hamilton and Preston. The one other issue, I just have everybody come out early, and it's a plug real quick for Boy Scouts of America because they are hosting a free jamboree at Minute Maid Park, open and free to the public, and with an expectance of over 10,000 people.
Wow.
So
A lot going on.
very much so.
So tell us a little bit about the route. So it starts where?
It starts at Hamilton and Texas, and this year we are going to be kicking off with the Sonic Boom Band from Austin High School.
So just so you know, it's right next to Minute Maid Park.
That is correct.
And it ends where?
It comes back all the way around from Preston at Franklin. So it goes all the way around about a 16-block route.
Okay.
And what time does it start again, Celia?
10 a.m.
10 o'clock.
10 to
Okay.
12,
Yes.
more or less.
About an hour and a half with this many entries. And like I said, I highly encourage the Boy Scouts have the whole Minute Maid Park and the perimeter, lots A and B. Lot C is available for a parking of $12 in cash. So if you can't find street parking, just get there early and park in Lot C. But we highly encourage everyone to come out early. It's going to be a grand parade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and if things work out, we're going to have Flaco Jimenez in the parade, right?
We're still
Flaco
trying to get
Jimenez.
Flaco here early so he could be in the
And
parade.
because
He'll be in the Pancho Claus's Cadillac.
That would be awesome.
I'll bring my
That's cool.
baloncesto. Play with it, some polka.
So why don't you tell us about what you got going on?
Yes, sir. We are a family of teachers of music, empezando with my dad. My dad was el original de los Bohemios de Terán, and he played for many years. And that's, I don't know if you know what that is, but
Is this a
eight-track.
eight-track?
That's an 8-track.
Man, I haven't seen one of these in a long time.
and that's my
Wow.
dad there, and we recorded.
How do you use this?
I tell you, give that a kid, they will have no idea what that is.
Hey, Enrique, do you know how to use this? Will this fit over there, the production over there?
Anyway, and so we've been teaching, since my dad started 20 years ago here in Houston. Let me back up. We were migrant workers, and we would follow the crops from all the way from California, Idaho, Washington, all over the place. And I was lucky to end up in the state of Idaho at a pilot bilingual program for ex-migrants, and that's when I got involved in going to school to be a teacher. So I got my degree, my BA degree in bilingual education, and my BA, and then my master's in curriculum instruction.
Wow.
So I did all that.
So our producer is telling us that we have some music to play.
We have a CD that we had the honor to record with my dad. He was in our group,
Okay.
La Rama Musical. So if we can put track 6, and we can
Track
start.
6, okay. Is it,
Awesome.
Yes, and my dad started the music with Don Edelmiro Abrego, who is now the Líricos de Terán, and they might show up because they're going to play here in the area that day for the presentation here. And first of all, let me thank you guys for inviting us, my nephew and myself and my group. I have about 15 students that are going to participate in playing the accordion. They're learning, playing accordion, bajo sexto, bass, drums. So, and my brother teaches saxophone. That's the one playing there in the saxophone in this CD.
I'm just
Now,
curious. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, now, and it's not just boys, right, Mr.
No, we have about eight girls or more.
8 young ladies are very good.
And
very good.
My nephew taught her how to play accordion, and I taught the boy how to play the bajo. And now they're all over the place. They're touring, and
Brother and sister?
brother and sister, Jackseni, Ricky, and
Actually, I don't know if y'all can see that.
and they recorded the song El Descendiente, which talks about the immigrants and the migrant people, defending them and what's going on right now.
So I'm just curious, is it harder to learn a piano versus an accordion?
The piano, you almost have to learn how to read notes.
Okay.
The accordion, my nephew developed a method that we use color coding. And so by using the color code on your fingers, you follow the scala. You do the scala de la guitarra, the scale, and or the accordion. And it makes it a lot easier for the adults and children and all ages to learn. And
So as long as you're not colorblind, you can play the accordion.
and we had a guy that was colorblind, so we had to
Oh, he
put
did- he
numbers.
played,
Yeah, we
okay.
had to put numbers so we could follow the numbers.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing.
And we had a student that he was in an accident. He lost his fingers, so he couldn't these fingers, and he could do the chords, but he couldn't play. So I did a Velcro thing with a púa, with a uña, so that way he could strum it.
Oh, man.
And he learned to play them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When there's a
Wow,
will,
we
there's
just
a
had a
way.
power outage.
Oh, there you go.
Uh-oh.
Well, anyway,
Houston's East End. Is there a thunderstorm going on outside?
well, Baldo, you know what? I didn't know that you had your degree and your master's in bilingual
sir.
education. Thank you very much for getting your degree and for giving back to the community the way you've been giving back. That's awesome. I'm
Thank
very,
you. That's
very impressed.
my dream, to help the kids come out, and instead of doing other stuff out there in the street, bring them in and help them learn some instruments, and the music is power for them. So, and we have a lot of kids out there
But
playing.
Mr. Valdes, I mean, this guy's promoting the culture.
Right.
He is promoting the Hano culture, and he's doing a fantastic thing. I tell you, Mr. Elizondo, I know when we talked the first time, I said, when I was a kid, oh man, I couldn't
yeah, you
stand.
too.
I hated accordion music, and I got older. I said, oh man, this is pretty good. Now I can't get enough of it. It's amazing. I love, especially David Lee. I can't get enough of David Lee. I can't get enough of Flaco. I mean, he's a fantastic accordionist himself.
Emilio played great, and Jaime Los
Emilio,
Chamacos.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's just amazing, and that's Tejano right there, man. That's
Exactly.
Tejano. So
My dad, when he was alive, he died 15 years ago. He was the main guy that people would come down to tune up the accordions and fix them, and he would change the colors on them and everything. So he was around for a long time here in Houston, and so like Flaco Jimenez and Ramon Ayala, a lot of groups came to him to get their
Javier
accordions.
Perez.
I wish.
I was just going to tell, I was talking to him in the green room, which I didn't know, because their school was in San Jacinto, which is a small little area there, which nobody knew about. Now they've moved. You want to tell them where your new location is?
Yes, right now we're on 3815 Bain on Collingsworth. That's where we teach on Sundays.
So you're like north of 59?
North 59, right?
Okay, so you're
Fifth Ward.
east of 59?
East of 59, yeah, right off of Collinsworth and Russell.
Okay.
and Bain.
Well,
And
they moved into the neighborhood, so you know, you're
Yes.
down the street from TBH.
Well, yeah. Well, you need to come to the East End.
yeah, well, I live here. I live over there on
And we're
Wayside.
we're working with Bob there right now. Hopefully, we'll have some classes over the summertime. And
Awesome.
he's
That'd be
working
great.
over at TBH. Yeah, so we're looking at that.
So what age groups do you deal with?
From 3, if they can handle the guitar, up to
Do you name
60,
it?
70,
To
yeah.
100 years old.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
qualify.
I would love to learn how to play that, man.
And I have my nephew, Rodrigo Gonzalez. He teaches the accordion. And my other nephew, Raul, he teaches drums. And he also records for Kenya West. He makes the music for them. For Kurt Cobain's, he did that Drink in My Cup. He's pretty well known in the area for
That's
the
great.
rap music. And
Well, I know someone from LULAC that could possibly promote you.
oh,
Yeah. Her name is Celia Valles.
Actually, he was an elementary teacher at J.P. Henderson.
J.P. Henderson.
Is that right?
He taught with
Elena
her. With,
Garcia.
Elena Garcia.
yes.
Oh my God.
17 years.
My
Yes.
wife went to school there.
Is
and
that
all her sisters.
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah, that was a teacher there.
17 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I did
Wow.
20 years in the state of Idaho. I was a migrant director for the migrant program.
Wow.
So I met a lot of the guys that you're talking about, Flaco Jimenez and them, and Selena and Emilio, when they went to play for our migrant conferences. So
Wow, that's
I've
amazing.
been involved for a long time.
Well, I appreciate you coming out. I'm sure
Thank
we'll
you.
have you again.
Thank you very much.
And when we come back, we're actually going to talk a little bit more of what's going on in our community at TBH. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
There's a lot going on at Talento Bilingual de Houston, and we want you to be part of it, especially Cinco de Mayo coming up. There's all kinds of activities throughout the city of Houston, and hopefully you can participate. So we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Más lo bueno que no caigo. Un grito, raza. Ando borracho, más lo bueno que no caigo. Pues me sostiene la fuerza de mi orgullo. Tú que dijiste desde ya lo traigo herido. Nunca en la vida tus ojos lo verán. Copa tras copa, botella tras botella, conforme tomo me voy reconfortando. Eres muy linda, más conmigo eso no vale. Nada en el mundo a mí me hará caer. Yeah, you better believe it, baby doll. Cuando en las noches te decía que te quería, eran mentiras, nomás te fui tanteando. Soy golondrina que el espacio voy cruzando. Nunca en la vida en jaula me verás. Copa tras copa, botella tras botella, conforme tomo me voy reconfortando. Ya me despido de tu amor, me voy cantando. Tus lindos ojos no me verán caer. Y vale más que lo creas. nada se interponga en mi camino. Consciente estoy en mí hasta el final. ¿Qué tanto es uno más o es uno menos? Por cada menos nacen 5 más. Destino que te ensañas con el hombre cuando le das caminos de maldad. Con la esperanza de...
Welcome back to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez, joined by my co-host, Mr. Javier Perez, and of course, Jumpin Jess. Now, we are going to actually have some live accordion player right here in this studio performing for y'all. We have Mr. Laredo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
And Mr. Quick, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
And Vale, again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.
So we have a few minutes to talk about what you all do, and then we'll get into the performance. Do you need a singer?
Well,
Always need a singer.
we need volunteers right now.
They're volunteers. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
I have actually been playing all my life desde que estaba niño. So I dedicate myself to be a happy musician. The rest of it is pretty much just something like festivity, like the one that's coming up, que necesitan, o sea, que ¿verdad? Música conjunto, and that I fit in right in well, porque that's where I come in. Yes, sir.
Muy
Yes,
bien.
sir.
And what do you do, Mr. Quick?
I promote music here in Houston and try to get back to the culture. Actually, accordion is my favorite instrument, but I do not play any instrument. I just work with the musicians and all the groups in Texas. My dad was a musician for 60 years.
You sound like someone I know sitting right across, right here.
That's exactly right.
Well, Quick is being humble because he's actually from Corpus, right? And he's
Originally Corpus Christi, born and
He's
raised.
helping promote a show dedicated to Laura Canales that was coming up. And
Last week.
he's also, I see him in Las Vegas. He's always helping out all the artists or people. He's always taking care of all the ladies because they're looking for a good dancing partner. Quick is probably one of the best dancers I ever seen.
You know, he's a dance instructor also.
Oh,
from
yeah,
us. And now
did it for
Quick,
many years.
that's his stage name.
Yeah? Quick.
Ray Garcia.
Ray Garcia.
Ray Garcia, but he's also known as Quick. And you know what, Ray? Thank you for getting involved with us at TVH and helping us promote the accordion festival. You know, he got in pretty early in the process, and man, I tell you, today he was like, Javier, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do that? We got to do this, and this. We're right. Okay, Ray, we're doing it. So, man, I appreciate all your
one
help.
day, and it's an honor and a pleasure to have to be part of this organization.
And you got us Flaco Jimenez at a really fair price, which is I was telling Javier, that's a very good price. And at one of the most heaviest traffic times of Cinco de Mayo, because I've been in the business for many years working in clubs and festivals, and usually the price goes way up there for certain, let's say Cinco de Mayo, certain events.
Absolutely.
But you got us, and I was going to tell you thank you very much for what you're doing.
Welcome.
So it's still going to take us to the next level and put us on the map when it comes down to now our festivals by having Flaco here already.
Absolutely.
You know, and Ray, I know we're talking about, hey, this is gonna be a yearly thing, so we're gonna do this again next year.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we'll just keep building on what we're doing, where you know
Work together as a team,
absolutely.
and we work our way up.
So I want to forewarn our producer, we're actually going to swap places here. So we're going to have Mr. Laredo perform for us. What are you going to perform anyway?
Well, una polquita que es una de las más populares en lo que se trata del acordeón. Es una polquita que se llama Viva Seguir.
Viva Seguir.
Todos la han escuchado.
A traditional Texas song.
Traditional accordion polka. And I wish I had somebody had a guitar.
That's what I just tell you.
Anybody driving by, just stop by.
Because I have my bajo and everything, but I didn't know you were going to.
Flaco couldn't show up. He had a little sore throat, so that's why I said, well, I can't make it right now. It's kind of, I'm under the weather, but that's fine.
Well, Mr. Quick, everything can be done. I'll teach you how to play accordion. I mean,
I'll be there with you, right?
You're invited
I'll be there with you.
I know you're a master, so I don't need to teach you. You're a master.
Nomás se imaginan que está la guitarra tocando cuando se el acordeón.
And yo le hago el tum, tum, tum.
But you got one of the best accordion players here in the state of Texas, in
definitely.
Houston, Texas,
Definitely.
Mr. Ruben Laredo. It's a pleasure
Mr. Ruben.
to work with
Why don't we go ahead and switch places?
Let's do this.
Okay, seguro. Thank you very much here.
And just going to remind you, the event is going to be going on after the parade. It's our accordion festival, TBH Accordion Festival. It's going to be Saturday, May the 6th, starting at 12 noon, directly after the parade. Right, Javier?
Absolutely.
And tell them how to get to TBH.
TBH right at the corner of Navigation and where Franklin
Jensen.
comes out of down, where Franklin, Jensen,
Navigation.
and Franklin all meet. It's right across the street from Lady Guadalupe Church.
333
Second Ward.
Jensen Drive.
You got it.
South Jensen, 333 South Jensen Drive.
So I'm gonna hold the mic for the accordion here. It's all you.
Lo que,
All right,
lo
Mr.
que voy a
Rubén.
hacer es play a short version de la polquita Viva Seguin para toda la gente que está por ahí escuchando. Ojalá que les gusten mucho.
Okay.
Go to Idalia.
Best
Te vas pa'
polka.
Idalia.
Oh, that's a good
Viva
one.
Seguin.
Te vas a Idalia.
Dale, Rubén.
¡Ay! ¡Le damos, tía! Para que lo respeten. 5 de Mayo. We'll see everyone there. It's invited.
5 de Mayo.
There you go. El taconazo. ¡Ánimo!
Mucho music.
All right, now we're gonna have Javier Perez sing a song for us.
There you go.
Hey, you don't want to kill the ratings.
No, let's go ahead, have a seat. Let's,
No,
let's do
stay there,
another one.
stay there, Mr. Rubén.
Let's do
Mr.
another
Rubén,
song.
first of all, what a beautiful accordion.
Yeah.
That is a
It looks
beautiful.
gold plated. That's nice.
Oh man, it is a beautiful piece
And
of.
expensive.
Recientemente
Instrument.
parece que el estilo es de oro. Lo último que hay es de
oro.
acordeones de oro. So dije, ¿sabes qué? Voy a agarrar una de oro ya que es lo último que hay de moda. So por eso. Pero sí está bien.
Your strap is covering your microphone, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let me ask Baldi something. Baldi, what's the price of an accordion right now? Because I know they were going ranges. So I know you got the two different types, right? You got Hohner and Gavinelli. Can you tell us a little bit about the prices of
Yeah,
accordions?
the prices for right now they're using the Pantone a lot. That's what we recommend our students that are
To learn.
people
And that's
to
what
learn
this one is,
accordion.
right?
No, that's an expensive one. The
Oh,
Pantones
okay,
are
okay.
about they're around about 500, 550 to 600, but these ones they're about 1,000, 1,500. I don't know how much you pay for that one.
3,100.
Yep, I believe it.
Gabinelli.
That's
Gabinelli is,
nice one.
is up there. But when we start our kids, we're starting with something,
Oh, sí. Es
Economic.
que aprendan. Once they learn, now they have Gabinelli, ya están tocando y todo.
Honor.
So let's go ahead and play another one. We got a little bit of time left.
Una canción para cantarla.
otra polquita.
Ándale, échale.
Un pedacito corto.
Y después cantar una.
Totally awesome.
Ray, is Ruben, have you been inducted to the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame yet?
I was inducted 2011.
Okay, great.
Which I'm very
honored,
grateful for that. But I have been playing 56 years.
Wow.
Honestly, I hope to play forever because it's something that you really feel.
And name some of the artists that you played for, some of the groups.
Well, I have played for Los Nuevos Técnicos de aquí de Houston, de Nacho Garza. That is
goes way back,
homegrown, yes.
70s.
Of course, toqué varios años en California, toqué como 15 años en el estado de California.
India, California.
Pero aquí he tocado con René Serrata, Jesse Serrata, que la gente en lo tejano. Y la verdad es que les he ayudado a muchos grupos.
Right.
Yeah.
Y a Rick Fuentes de Rubén Ramos,
Right.
el conjunto de él. So, como digo, yo vivo agradecido de que estoy right in the mix, en medio de toda la música. Y cuando me habló mi grande amigo Mr. Quick que si quería tocar aquí en el Accordion Festival, dije, seguro que sí, it'll be an honor. It'll be an honor to represent lo que es el acordeón, ¿ves? Lo que es la música de acordeón. So I'm grateful.
And my uncle Flaco on bajo sexto. It's Flaco and Ruben, Grupo Valiente.
You know, and that's the great thing about this whole thing, man. We're able to bring such a cultural icons that have been in the music business for all this time and show them to our younger generation.
Absolutely, pass it
man,
on.
this
Pass it
needs
on.
to be passed on, man. I mean, did you see his fingers?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
60 years of music.
He could knock me out. I'm out, man. I'm up for the count.
Can you play something for 1 minute?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me do this before that. Let me go ahead and just remind everybody it's going to be May 6th, Saturday. It's first is going to be the parade, which goes on downtown.
No. We go 5th. I'm in.
We're starting Friday.
Oh, yeah, we start Friday.
May 5th.
I have kids for the 5th too.
Yeah, we got kids starting at 5 o'clock.
5th. We got Ruben Moreno, Zydeco,
And you got Jorge
Phenom. We got Jorge Moreno is
From
going to come in from
California.
California. Him. So we're going to have music the whole
They
weekend
got
long,
Flaco
Friday and
Ruben,
Saturday.
Grupo Valiente, and then we got Jesse Yanis as well coming in on Friday and then Saturday.
And then Benny Medina.
Benny Medina on Saturday.
He's the teacher at
Culture Center in Guadalupe
Culture Arts Center.
Guadalupe Culture Center.
So we're getting some great entertainment with everybody, top-notch entertainment.
And I'm going to have some of my students too, girls and boys, performing a variety of
So you got 30 seconds.
Échale. Puro guapango.
Arriba. Once again, like to invite everyone.
I tell you, that's amazing, Ben.
right.
Well,
This
unfortunately,
gentleman
we're
is
running out of
amazing.
time. I want to thank y'all for coming out, Mr. Quick, Valde,
Thank you very much.
Mr.
It's an
Lorel.
honor and a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll see
Mr.
you this
Ruben, thank
weekend.
you, sir.
Right.
It's going to be great. Come see him this weekend.
Talento Bilingual de Houston, right there on
Esperamos.
333 South Jensen Drive.
Across
Friday and
Guadalupe
Saturday.
Church.
Ahí los
exactly.
esperamos.
So we'll see you next week.
5 de Mayo of Accordion
Cinco de
Festival.
Go
Mayo.
ahead,
There you
go ahead, knock it out.
Play us off, play us off.
Ruben.
5 de Mayo.
Right?
He perdido para siempre con amor.